What's up YouTube, Day Heavens of Wargames, bringing you a DDD combo test hand video. Now this is with Joe's deck profile from the other day. We have added in 2 new cards for these upcoming combos, or two of the upcoming combos, just to kind of showcase it, to show the variety. But what we'll do is we'll start off with this 4-card combo, which is Swell Slime, Necro Slime, DDD, Oblivion King, Ragnarok, and DD, Savant, Copernicus, sorry, keep saying Kepler. Right, so getting straight into it, all you need to do is you fuse Swell and Necro to make your Flame King Genghis, and that goes into your extra monster zone up there. You use Swell Slime to banish that and special summon Copernicus from hand. Copernicus then sends DDD Ghost from deck to graveyard. We then use Flame King to get back Necro. I'll get there eventually. Link all 3 of these up into our Deco Talker, and that guy goes up there in your link zone. You then use set scale Oblivion King Ragnarok in the scale. Use Necro Engrave to fuse with him and Ghost. Obviously Copernicus is over here in the extra deck, to get a Flame King Genghis out, and that goes there. You then use Oblivion King Ragnarok's effect to revive your Genghis. That can go there. You then get to overlay these guys into the new guy, DDD Wave High King Caesar. Now, yes, it does seem like an exhaust of resources. Obviously, what I have missed is when Ghost gets banished, you bring Swell Slime back to the grave. But Wave High King is like a double warning. You've then got, obviously, Decode. If both his effects get used, you can use it twice per turn. You can use Decode's effect to get rid of him and then search out a contract. So you've kind of got future plays to go from there. Anyway, that was test hand number 1, or, well, combo number 1. Combo number 2 requires Swell Slime, DDD Savant Thomas, DDD Oblivion King Ragnarok, and DD Savant Kepler. So, you normal summon Kepler and grab yourself a Dark Contract with the Gate. You activate Dark Contract with the Gate and grab a second Ragnarok. So your hand is now double Ragnarok, Servant Thomas, and Swell Slime. Set Ragnarok in the scale and fuse Slime and the second Ragnarok to make a Beowulf. So our Beowulf goes up into our extra monster zone without chucking your extra deck over the board. You use the scale Ragnarok to bring back these the Ragnarok in graveyard. Use Swell Slime's effect to summon Thomas and use his effect to pop this Ragnarok, and that goes to the extra deck, and then that will then bring you out your 3rd Ragnarok from deck, which I believe is over here. So that brings you out your 3rd Ragnarok. You use Thomas, the 3rd Ragnarok, and Beowulf to make Coach King Giant Trainer. So this is one of the cards we've added in. Detach all 3 materials and get yourself 3 new cards, so they can be pretty much anything. That's just +3 in your hand. Then you turn the remaining 3, so we've got time to use all 3, draw 3 new cards, and then we make all 3 into a Deco Talker. So they'll go over to the extra deck, he'll go to graveyard, and then we've got our Deco Talker up there. All 3 moves to make Deco Talker with 3 new cards in hand. Or you can keep it with, so instead of going to Decode, you can keep it with Coach King, Ragnarok, and Kepler, or you go into your Deco Talker and 3 new cards in hand. So this one is mainly just to get the +3 in your hand. These 3 could be anything. They could be a contract with a Swamp King to kind of push your plays there. It could be absolutely anything. So yeah, that's that combo. Now for the final combo, which is probably one of the strongest, and this is thanks to Zealandary Z. So this came in on comments on the DDD deck profile. I have got my computer next to me, and this one actually ends incredibly strongly. So, what we do is our opening hand needs to be Swell Slime, Necro Slime, Kepler and Lamia, or we definitely need Kepler. It's just a combination of 3 of those 4 there. Because what you do is you normal summon your Kepler, you use your Kepler to get your gate, and then you use the gate to get out the missing piece that you might need. You fuse summon to Flame King Genghis with Swell and Necro. And Genghis goes up here for us. Move him down a bit. Then we special summon Lamia from hand by using Swell's effect. So it gets Lamia down to there. And trigger Flame King Genghis' effect to bring Necro back from the graveyard. We synchro summon Lamia and Genghis for... we activate Bliss Ragnarok in the scale. We synchro summon these guys into Alexander. Using Ragnarok's effect to bring back Lamia. Let me make sure I've done it right. Synchro summon Lamia and Genghis for Alexander. Trigger Ragnarok's Pendulum effect. Special summon Genghis with Ragnarok's effect. Sorry, there you go. So it's Genghis with Ragnarok's effect. And then Alexander to bring back Lamia. There we go. Send Alexander, Kepler and Necro to the grave for Deco Talker. Or Kepler will go to the extra. Then we synchro Genghis and Lamia to get Odd Eyes Meteor Burst. So this is the second new card that we've added into the deck. Meteor Burst's effect goes off to special summon Ragnarok. Trigger Ragnarok's effect to special summon back Genghis. Use Lamia's effect to pop Gate and special summon herself there. Oh, sorry, they're still in grave. Then we synchro summon Crystal Ring with Lamia and Odd Eyes. Then we use Necro's Engrave with Alexander to get Beowulf. So those guys there give us Beowulf. And then we can XYZ summon Beowulf to make number 38 if we want, or pretty much any rank 8 we kind of like if you want to do it that way, or you leave yourself with the numbers and nuke board. So it's kind of dependent on where you want to go from there. You can go more defensive and go into, like we said, you can go straight into your number 38 Hope Harbinger, which is probably your best defensive kind of play, or you leave the board with numbers, but then again a simple Regeki or Dark Hole kind of clears that for you. So that is your best defensive board. There you go. Very simple, very straightforward on that. If you do have any questions, please put it in the comments below. A massive thank you to Z Legendary Z. Sorry, I will get there eventually, for that combo, and obviously Joe for the other 2 combos, one mainly for draws and one just 4-card simplicity combo. Okay, so now on to the test hands. So we're going to do 2 test hands going first and 2 test hands going second to show you what the deck can do. Obviously we usually do 3, but because of the combos and time, we're going to try and do it with 2s. So our first test hand going first is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not too shabby. Let's try and do this right. Okay, normal summon the Copernicus. Copernicus can send Swell Slime to graveyard. We can then activate Ragnarok in the scale because we're going first, we want to be more defensively. Activate Ragnarok in the scale, banish Swell Slime to get us Thomas. Thomas's effect to pop Ragnarok and special summon out a Ragnarok. Activate Contract with the Swamp King, send in those 2 and getting us no, let's not do that. I think this is a really nice play. I really like this play. Leave Ragnarok on board, use these two, and go into Supreme King, Starving Venom, leaving a Lamia in hand and a Swamp King on board. I think that's quite short. You've got a 3k defender, a 28 beater, and this guy's just going absolutely ham. We take one other monster on the field or in the graveyard until the end phase. This card's name becomes that monster's original name and replace this effect with that monster's original effect. The rest of the turn, if a monster's attacked, the defense switch your monster inflict piercing battle damage. So he's probably more offensive, but it's still quite cool to go into that. Your other options could have been for a rank 8 for defensive plays, or you could have gone into a synchro play with Lamia, probably getting a Crystal Wing. So that's just an option, but it just shows you how easy actually Supreme King, Dragon, Starving Venom is to make in this deck. Okay, let's do our second test stand going first. That probably was more of an offensive board, but like I said, you can change that to a defensive play if you wish. Okay, so our second test stand going first is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Interesting. Okay, well we've got Eradicator, so I think because we're going first, we need to abuse that ability. So in order to abuse that ability, we probably should Foolish Burial. We can abuse it straight up without any gambling or luck, because you can literally just go send pretty much any DDD you want to the graveyard. Let's go with Kepler for now. And then you activate Dark Contract with a Swamp King and go into D-Arc. That is the Route 1 kind of no messing around, I know what I'm doing kind of play, to like neg my opponent. If you know what your opponent's playing, then you're probably better off, yeah, doing that, going Swamp King, banishing Kepler, sending to Savant Thomas. Does it go to Graves? I believe it's go graveyard. Yeah, we go to graveyard. Then you've got your Eradicator. Then you can activate your Pot of Desires if you want, just to see what you get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and draw 2. Obviously, we haven't normal summoned yet. That's, again, more defensively, so it actually kind of works out nicely because you'd activate Solemn Warning, activate Allure of Darkness, banish Thomas there, normal summon Kepler. Kepler can then search Witch if you want to give him an extra K, or he can search out the Contract, activate Contract. Contract can then search you out one of your DDD cards for a next turn play, or you can kind of extend a little bit further. So if you want to extend a little bit further, you can go Copernicus and put Lamia in graveyard using it that way, or you just hold on to a Swell Slime for next turn. It's entirely up to you. You're going to be doing Eradicator, clearing off your D-Arc, taking away all your opponent's spells. If they normal summon, you've got the warning to clear that off, and then your next turn, whatever your draw is, you've got the plays there, plus you've also got Dark Contract to search out for that one, and you've got Swamp King in grave, Swamp King on field, sorry, to use the cards in grave. That's actually a really, really strong defensive board. Eradicator, believe it or not, is incredibly strong with this deck. It extends your plays so much, and it can really, really hurt mass amounts of the meta decks right now. Like you said, you look at Dracos, you look at Zoos. Yes, they can probably operate without the spells, but they still need their Tenkies, they still need their Barrages, their Diagrams, their Terraformings, Light Tricksters still need their field spell quite a lot. They need the Dark Room of Nightmares. If you hit traps, they're not going to get their reincarnations. So it's kind of nice to stop some of those cards out. Anyway, 1, 2, 3. This is our first test stand going second. So that is our opening 6. Not too bad. Let's normal summon our Kepler. Our Kepler will then search us out our gate. We'll activate our gate, and our gate will then search us a Swell Slime, which I believe is the safest kind of play there. Now, if we want to flood the board but do half damage, there are ways of doing so. If we do want to get maximum damage on board, there is also a way of doing that too. So, if we go maximum damage, let's go Savant Thomas and Swirl into, because we're going maximum damage, let's go Genghis. We then banish Swirl. Swirl brings out Ragnarok. Genghis' effect brings back Thomas. We'll play Allure of Darkness because we can. Gets us Witch, which is more defensive, and a second Copernicus, so one Copernicus can get banished. We'll activate Pot of Desires again just because we can. Wouldn't advise doing it all the time, it's just because this is a test hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw 2. Another Allure of Darkness and a Lamia. That's not too bad, that can boost us up a little bit more as well. So if we activate Allure of Darkness, because again we can, deck thin more. Let's banish our Copernicus. We'll activate another Allure of Darkness, draw in 2 more, and banish in another Lamia. We can then use Lamia's effect if we want. Pop in Gate. Not pop in Gate, actually, sorry. Send in Necro to bring her to the board. We can sink Genghis, turn Genghis from a 2k into a 25. Sorry, that's what we could have done as well. If we put Savant Thomas there, sync up into Meteor Burst. Meteor Burst can then bring out the Thomas. So that's how you kind of flood your board a bit. Obviously we've used Lamia's effect once, we can't do that again, but you have got a 22, an 18 and an 18 on board. Obviously 25 can't attack, but if you hold off on Thomas, then he can. It's really dependent on you from there. We also have the ability to, if we didn't go into Meteor Burst, if we kept Meteor Burst off the board, we could have synced these up into a... If we used Genghis, Lamia and Kepler, we could have gone into our... Where are you? Our Cursed King Siegfried. So you kind of have options there, and that's a 28, an 18 and a 22. You still have loads of offensive plays there as well. There obviously was a play that if you didn't go into Genghis and you went into Diarch, you possibly could have gone into... Well, actually, if you didn't go into Genghis at all, you possibly could have got into the Venom Dragon as well. But you still had a huge amount of cards on board there. They were all incredibly, incredibly strong. So let's do our second test hand and go in second and see how we do. Well, that's interesting. Okay, let's activate Dark Contract with the gate first. Let's search out our Swell Swine. Let's Swirl and Necro, get those to grave, and go into our Genghis. Let's banish Swirl. Yeah, banish Swirl, get our Lamia. Genghis' effect brings back Necro. Link all these up into our decode, and that's decode there. Then we've got normal summon of our Kepler. Kepler, let's put in there. Kepler will then search out our Dark Contract with the Swamp King. We'll activate Dark Contract with the Swamp King for using the Kepler in hand and the Kepler on field, and going into our Diarch because we want more damage on board. We then can use Necro's effect and go into Beowulf. We can then use Lamia's effect to pop one of the gates and bring her back. And then we can sync Diarch up if we want to into a Siegfried, or we could leave her on board. Or even if we want to, we can go into a Bills as well. And you've got insane battle on board. You've got 3k, 3k and 3-3. So that's a huge amount of damage to your opponent right there. So that's just the options that DDDs can still offer you. They do require, you know, a bit more in hand, which is why, unfortunately, you can kind of see in Joe's build he's had to sacrifice stuff like Rigeki's and Dark cards, like some of the staple cards, just to make it fully operational. But it doesn't make it any less effective. It's a shame you can't do the double combo of Swell and Necro into one fusion and Necro and Swell into another fusion, but that's just kind of the way that links have affected this deck. Anyway, I hope this helps. I hope this gives you a couple of ideas of how to play the deck, and especially on the combos. So again, before we go, a massive thank you to Legendary Z for that combo. If you do have any other combos you would like shown of one of the decks that we profile, please let us know in the comments below, and we'll be more than happy to do that. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and until next time, guys, as always, happy dueling. If you like that video, why not check out our other videos available? We've got more deck profiles, pack openings, and of course duels. And don't forget to click on the most important button of all, that subscribe button, right in the bottom left hand corner.